Pretty tune, that one there. Gotta love it. Harmony by Starflyer, 59 here on 98.5 WNUW. You are listening to the Weekend Kickstart. That's right. It's Friday, 3:03 p.m. My name's Owen. I'm here with Rel again. Rel, I gotta ask you, how's your week been, my friend?
I'm just like last week, man. Kind of just waiting for this year to end, man. Last week of classes officially.
That's right.
I don't have any finals, so I basically have one more assignment to do, and I'm done for the year.
Lucky you, my man. Lucky
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I'm in a kind of, I was gonna say similar situation, but I do have a couple finals. It's not that I don't have any.
Mm.
It's just two courses that they're not making us come in and take a full on test for. But I'll take it where I can get it, right? If I can get like a project instead or
Yeah, I had like 3 presentations this
some
week.
kind
though.
of I had a presentation for psych. I still have an exam for that though. Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to that whatsoever. But it is the end of the week, so we get to get ready to weekend, which for me means work. But you got anything fun coming up on this either tonight or the next day or the next day?
Yeah, me and a few people from the comm area are going to the MR. What was it? The MRM?
MMRBQ?
MMR. I said MM.
The
Yeah,
WMMRBQ?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that should be cool. I'm not the biggest, rock guy, but, just being around, um, some of the people who enjoy that music, and obviously, we're gonna be recording, trying to get some cool clips of those guys, maybe an interview as well. So it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
For those that don't know, it's a celebration of rock and roll. It is every summer in Philly. And this year, some of the big ones are Alice Cooper, Godsmack, the Hooters, Philly's own, the Hooters. I got to see the Hooters at Non-Com earlier this week. Man, those guys rock.
Yeah.
Live music is great. I got to stop banging into this thing with my hat. I forgot to take my hat off before we went onto the air today, but it's all right. I'll just keep bumping into it for the rest of the show unless I can figure out some kind of tilt method. What do you think, Rel? Is that method right there? Talk down and I just bumped it again. I might have cooked, but I just bumped it again. Now, outside of the MMRBQ, there are some other things that are coming up this weekend. Not so much concerned with WNUW or music, live music. We're now talking about sports. We're talking about the NBA. That's right. The NBA playoffs are here. We have, moving this up in front of my face a little bit. We have a hometown team that are in the playoffs and kind of struggling at the moment. And then we have a couple other squads that a lot of people love to hate on. But we got to start with Philly, Rel. We have to. So the Sixers actually took down Boston in an upset of a series. We beat them with an injured Joel Embiid, but the way we were able to do it was by handing the keys to Maxey and letting Paul George do what he does best and not making him like overcreate and clog up other players' spaces. Offensively, it was awesome. Defensively, we had guys stepping up. I thought VJ did really well defending on the perimeter when he was called upon. Obviously, he had some big games offensively, too. We can't overshadow that, but he wasn't like the main focus in the series. KO, I was super impressed with KO. But now, we're playing against the Knicks. And all these things have flipped upside down. Everything is turned on its head. I'm a little bit worried. We got Game 3 tonight. We are down 2-0 right now to the Knicks, and I'm a little bit worried about Game 3. Rel, I need to ask you, what have you seen in this Knicks series so far? And do you think that the Sixers have what it takes to come back from being down 2-0? Because, man, right now, I mean, things aren't looking good.
I always thought of the Sixers as front runners, right? And I still kind of think of them that way. I think they play better if the game is closer, they have even a little bit of lead, they play better. I don't think this is a team that does great with adversity. Like, if the Sixers go down 12, it's probably over, realistically speaking. But they showed me a lot this year, like you just mentioned with the Boston Celtics series. I didn't expect them to come back from 3-1. I didn't expect them to come back from 3-2. I didn't even think they would win Game 7, but they end up doing exactly that. Now, I think with this series so far, I think fatigue is kicking in. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
Knicks were
for sure.
able to get a few days more rest. I think Embiid should have skipped the game one and played game two. I think that would have been better for him. Because we seen he was a little nicked up after game seven of
Right.
the previous series. So, but yeah, what I've seen so far is like, Cat is continuing to play really well. I think Embiid has to put an end to that, and it starts with tonight. Like, if Cat's going off, then the Knicks are really, really difficult to beat. He's starting to get triple doubles, and he's figuring out how to, play more Jokic style. And he's still a great shooter, so you gotta stay up, attached to him. So Cat is starting to show he's really one of them top four bigs in the league. I think it's gonna just come down to the Sixers have to find something consistent on the offensive end. I don't
It's
think
gonna come down to wing play. The Knicks built this team and got all these wings to beat the Celtics. That's what they did. That's what they did this for. And they haven't been able to do that. Nobody's been able to do that. The Sixers just did it. So now we are not a team that matches up with the Knicks all that well. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Miles McBride. I mean, they've been playing Jordan Clarkson.
yeah, he played well.
He been getting some minutes.
He
So
played
it's like
well last game too.
it's super frustrating. We're not able to keep track of all these guys that can also play hard on the defensive end. The Sixers are a little bit overwhelmed, especially with them crashing the boards. It's always been a problem for the Sixers is rebounding, and rebounding against the Knicks is going to be extremely frustrating. We've been hacking Mitch Robinson to keep him out of the game, and even still, we're not able to corral the ball and control the pace of the game. It's really frustrating. I think between Brunson foul baiting and their over assortment of wings that can 3 and D, we're just going to get overwhelmed, I think.
Me personally, I haven't been seeing too much Brunson foul beating. I think I've just been seeing him give us buckets. But, I think that the Sixers, if you look at it on paper, though, I still feel like, like you said, the Knicks have been together longer, played together. They're probably better coached, maybe, or at least they show more effort consistently on every given night.
Effort is their biggest thing.
But
That's their big.
you just look at the lineup, like, Cat is not better than Embiid.
No, he's not, and he
Paul
shouldn't.
George is better than Bridges. Maxey and Brunson is. You have to lean Brunson, but it's 51-49. You know what I'm saying? 52-48.
So you're saying the star power thing. So
it's
we have
like,
more star power, similar to what we were saying in like the Celtics
DJ
series.
and
It's
Josh Hart. Like, come on, like.
Yeah, but
And then
discipline.
Kelly and OG gets that one. So they get, two of 5. That's. We still gotta.
But discipline wise, they go 5 for 5.
Easy.
So
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing.
Making the extra play for your teammate, diving for the loose ball, jumping for that rebound that's just out of reach, trying to get your hand on it.
No, that's 100% the biggest thing. And
Those
I
things
think
are gonna
it
overwhelm
also
the
could be
Sixers.
their time, because how many times has the Knicks, I'm not going to say flamed
That's
out,
true.
but,
That's true.
they've been here in this position for the past 4 years. They, was done with that Randall experiment. I'm never been a fan of Randall. I don't like him on the Timberwolves either, but,
No.
they got rid of that. They got Cat, and these last 2 years they've been getting closer. I think this could just be their time. It's either the Sixers or the Knicks' time still. Like, I don't think the Pistons, even though they played well against Bum Harden and Evan Mobley.
It's been James Harden shooting the Cavaliers in the foot in that series so far.
He ended last game with only 4 turnovers. I had to see 7. There's no way I just watched only 4 turnovers. But, he has like 40 games with more turnovers than field goals made in the playoffs as quote-unquote one of the best scorers of all time. That's why I never fell into that James Harden trap.
Is that a real?
That's a real
That's
stat.
unbelievable, because I love stats like that.
He's played over 180 games, and 37 of them, he's had more turnovers than field goals made. It's just like, how can you sit here and say he's one of the greatest? How can you sit here and say he's over someone like Dwayne Wade when Dwayne Wade, not only was he a great defender, which Harden is not, he's equally.
Bro, that's over a quarter of all of his postseason games.
Bro,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
nasty, bro. That's nasty. And it's been like this for the past 10, 12 years.
Well,
People continue to give him the pass because
we
he's
always knew he was.
swaggy.
We
He's
always knew he was the
cool.
problem. It's
He
not a
is the
debate of.
beard,
It's
you
not a
know.
debate of if he has swagger or not. It's a debate of if he's serious or not. I don't think he's a serious playoff player, but that's a scary stat that you just told me right there. I would not want something like that attached to my
That's
name.
been tracking all over Twitter recently, and it's just nasty work, bro.
Yeah, that's a gross one. So we're happy to have Mr. Harden out of our system. Daryl Morey is a liar. I'm not going to play for another Daryl Morey team ever again. Shut up, fat suit. Man, he was so silly. He was so silly while he was here. Wanted the keys. We wouldn't give it to him, though.
No.
Oh, man, that reminds me of an Autumn song. Okay, so we're going to move on from the Sixers-Knicks series. We're down 2-0, but that's okay. Game 3 tonight at 7. I think we need to win this. We will not come back from 3-0. We could come back from 2-1, though, so we need to win this. The other game tonight, 9:30, out on the West Coast, baby. Minnesota, well, not really, it's up there, but Minnesota and San Antonio. Now, Dante DiVincenzo went down with the injury. Was Wembanyama battling an injury with the possible concussion? Anthony Edwards not at 100%. A lot of moving parts
100%.
in this series.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Devin Vassell already in the air catch and shoot 3 was pretty awesome.
That was.
I know you saw that clip.
Super
I'm not going to
fair.
be like the guy that's like, oh, I did that before, but I had a similar situation in a game before, and it reminded me of that. So
I've seen Derek White do that as well.
I'm no Devin Vassell or Derek White. I'm not. You know, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But I like Vassell, slept on player. But in that series, it's been a lot of fun. Game 1, Timberwolves beat the Spurs in San Antonio, shocked a lot of people. Game 2, Spurs B2A. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Rel, do you think that the Minnesota Timberwolves, taking this series back to Minnesota now, have an opportunity to beat the Spurs, who are probably the only team that matches up nicely to the Thunder in the entire NBA? They beat the Thunder 3 times, I think,
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
3
yeah.
times during the season. So do you think the Timberwolves have what it takes? And if so, please explain, because, man, that game 2 was... Oh.
Listen, man, as we kind of discussed on the last episode, I kind of had the Timberwolves as my dark horse candidate to win the championship. They've been to back-to-back conference finals, one with Cat, one with Randall, so they have kind of experience with both. Rudy Gobert has been playing his best playoffs, I would say, at least that I've seen him play.
Without a doubt. You see what he did to
this
Jokic, bro? Without a
team
doubt.
is just as gritty, if not grittier, than like a Knicks. Like, I think they have that grit, all dogs. You know, Jaden McDaniels, the villain now. You know, so they have everything it takes mentality wise. Like, led by a dog and Ant. Yeah, he's not 100%, and I still find it crazy that he's back, but he is out there, and that's always going to be either a decoy or he may just pop off one of these games and. You know, I'm not sure he's not that injured. So I think they have what it takes. I think you have to have someone who can guard Wemby. No one can, but Rudy and McDaniels, McDaniels can slide his feet better, but Rudy's taller. So you have 2 solid guys there who I feel are 2 of the better guys to give Wemby any problems.
A tough time, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's going to own Chet.
He's gonna,
So,
I mean, yeah.
In
but
that series,
you would say but Chet is one of the guys who should be able to guard him as well. But you just need someone who can move their feet and somewhat have length, right? Like even KD, you know, you would say, I mean, like I said, who can guard Wemby? But these are the guys I would throw on Wemby, right? But outside of that, though, I think that the Spurs will. I want to say the Spurs will probably win this series, but I think it'll go 6-7, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do the Timberwolves need to do tonight in order to try and take Game 3? Because the Spurs have a couple different outlets they can get scoring from. When things get tough, a lot of times you could fall into a rut. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes scoring drought, right? They like to put that graphic up on March Madness when that's happening to the teams.
Sure.
The Sixers thrived on that in the Boston series.
Yeah.
forcing them into bad 3-point shots, and then they miss them, and then they miss the next one, and the Sixers are up 9, up 12, and all of a sudden, right, now Boston has to kind of get back into the game a little bit. The Spurs can score in short bursts at any point in the game. They don't really go on droughts like that.
Yeah.
So, defensively for the Timberwolves, it's going to be very tough. They're going to need to pack it in and stay dialed for all 48 minutes. That's for sure. That's for sure. But is there anything in particular? Is there a particular player or something that maybe you think could have they could have a big night tonight? Any predictions from the Rel Master over there?
Yeah. I think what they actually need to do is kind of what the Sixers did in the Boston series, and that is lock up the top ball handlers, pause, and that's how you stop them from getting into the rim, or getting to the rim. Stephon Castle creates so many open shots for his teams and layups and dunks. So is De'Aaron Fox. You know how good he's been
Harper
for the past
too,
7. Yeah. Dylan Harper is coming on. Like, they have Devin Vassell, who may not be as he's not asked to be a creator, but he's a great shot creator as well. So
KJ off the bench.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have a whole bunch of plethora of guys who can kind of take someone off the dribble. It's all about the Timberwolves, who have the defenders to stay in front today. I think for them to win this game, you got to keep the crowd in it. So that means you have to keep it close. You can't let the Spurs go on any of those runs. I think it's going to come down to the wing defenders rather than the offense tonight. I think, with the home crowd, they'll get back. They'll start making a few more threes, the role players. And if they can stay in the game to the fourth quarter, which is exactly what happened in game 1, and probably they're going to win games. All the Spurs win will probably be by 10 plus.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves have to win the games that's close in the fourth quarter, though.
Right.
So that's my what I think the Timberwolves need tonight. Anything from you?
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. It kind of reminds me of how I feel about the Sixers. The Sixers losing that game, too, as a close game made me feel pretty upset. I feel like we need to win the close games. If we can't win those, we don't have a shot. But that's a very good point. I feel like the Timberwolves, that's what they got going on. Ayo Dosunmu on the break, stealing the ball, getting an outlet to somebody up ahead. That's going to be a big part of the game tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bones Highland could get some valuable minutes tonight.
Uh-huh.
They're going to need people to step up. It's not going to be easy by any means. Cavaliers, Pistons. Not a whole lot of guys stepping up for the Cavs right now, man. This series, for those who've been watching, let me preface it by saying
I'm sorry if you've been watching.
Yeah, seriously. Like, literally watch any other series.
I'm sorry.
But that's kind of what's been going on, is a lot of boringness. Donovan Mitchell has been shooting it okay, but from 3, not that great. But overall, he's been shooting it okay. But even still, he needs to take more.
That's exactly it, bro. I think he started deferring way too much on this team, and I think that you could argue the past 2 years, but he's just, even with Garland was there as well. I just feel like he needs to have the ball more. You know what I'm saying? Take over these games more. Mobley is a role player, bro. We keep trying to say he's a star and he's special. Him, Triple J, those guys all go to the same category for me. Them tweeners who people think is super valuable, but they not really that valuable.
I think Triple J might be a little better.
I still don't see him as a star.
He might be a tier above. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right.
I don't see him as a star.
It's a debate for another day.
That's a debate for another day. But you're not gonna get that much Mobley, especially from creation. You got to create for him, basically how you got to do for Jared Allen. So it's not too much of a difference. And Jared Allen has been playing better than Mobley.
He's been their playoffs center in this series.
Weird enough. So unfortunately for my parlays, but we need that Donovan Mitchell.
You're not betting on Mr. Mobley, are you? Oh,
we need that Donovan Mitchell from the Jazz, who wanted to go shoot 40 times and 30 times, go band for band with Murray. If you see the Pistons pulling away, there's no reason you should have had a ball for 5 straight possessions. That literally what be happening in these Cavs games. They try to run different actions with others and just doesn't go right. Absolutely locked up. when you have someone who can make like a 3-level score essentially, like Donovan Mitchell, he can take and make any shot. Those are the players who needs to have the ball more, and especially in these tight situations, like when defenses get tough, you give it to players like that who no shot is necessarily a bad shot. Like we've seen Donovan shoot and make every shot on the court. Harden, we can say, force him to take difficult twos and you'll be definitely successful, and Mobley stay in front, like everyone else, is a clear way of guarding them. There's no clear way of guarding Mitchell. I just think he needs to take these games over more. And the Pistons just slow everyone down in general, no matter who they're going to go against. So they're going to make it tough. But I think Donovan has it. And they had it right there. They had the lead, I think, beginning of the fourth quarter maybe, or end of the third. So they were in this game all the way throughout. They just had no closer. That's what happened.
Yeah, Cavaliers are not doing well. Cavs corner is suffering, as they would say over on ESPN. I don't know if I was all gung-ho on the Donovan Mitchell project when they first got him. When I heard the news about Harden, I was definitely not.
No, it was over after that.
Yeah, I was definitely not gung-ho for them there. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, so they're doing the
second round loss thing again.
Yeah, throw the playoff hopes away thing. Yeah, that's cool. They can do that. That's doesn't affect my Sixers, so it is what it is. But I saw something funny on Twitter of Dean Wade, Dean Wade. He was rolling off his screen and Donovan Mitchell didn't switch, and Wade was just like, and like didn't even chase after his guy, just stood there and let him go hit the open three. So these guys are mentally checking out in this series. James Harden, 11 turnovers over the last 2 games, but like you said, man, it feels like 15. Guys,
I don't know how it's not 15.
Guys been playing really poorly. He was minus 15 last game, 3 for 13 from the field. Just reading stats isn't fun. Okay, go ahead and watch 5 minutes of the first quarter tomorrow, and then you'll start to see, what we're kind of getting into here. We're not just trying to. I'm not just trying to read numbers, but I need to pick on him. I need to explain that this guy's been bad, and this is an easy way to do it. Dennis Jenkins got some valuable minutes in that last game, which is
he's good.
Which is good. I like seeing him play. He brings a lot of energy.
I think he's good. I think he's extra piece for them.
Who's the guy from the Blue Coats that we let go? And is playing.
That we let go.
Kennedy Chandler is playing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like speedy, decent enough handle. And
Pretty.
then once you give him the minutes, you're like, whoa, this guy can low-key like create.
And not even
that's what we're seeing with Jenkins.
Not even just that. Like, like you said, he can create. Like, they don't have many creators on that team. Like, I would say he's probably the second
Cade,
or maybe third if you count Tobias, but I don't think. Yeah, like I think Dennis is probably
Tobias blew his hip out, man. He's getting old.
Yeah, the best like creator on the team. Then he plays super hard. He's a good defender. He stays in front. He was crashing. He had more rebounds than Evan Mobley.
That's what got him on the court originally was his defense.
Yeah, like so he has that dog mentality, and he's young. He's feisty. Like I think I can see him maybe being who's the who they just have? Who's the guard that everyone was just talking about?
The guard that everyone was just talking about? On the
Pistons. He's not there no more.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
I don't want to tell you, bro. He had a controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember? What was the controversy? He was speaking about his beliefs
I'm not gonna say the controversy, but basically.
Purdue. Come on. Who? Super fast, bro. Athletic. Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey,
Ivey's
exactly.
out of a job right now.
Yeah, so he can be this team's Jaden Ivey. Like maybe he starts next year. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. You go Cade, him, Asar, Tobias, Duren. That's a formidable lineup. You can go still dunking off the bench, or maybe still start dunking because not as many great shooters. Either way, I think Jenkins gonna have a bigger role next year.
Yep.
I think he's played his way into that.
Oh, for sure he's played his way into that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And another guy that's played his way into a bigger role that I talked about at the start of this season. I don't know if you were around that. Like, I don't know if I brought that up to you on a show then or if I was just by myself blabbering or what. But somebody else that played their way into a big role is AJ Mitchell, bro. This guy, every time I see this guy play, I'm more and more impressed. And I'm like, that's great. He's on the Thunder. Great. That's who ended up with this kid. But we're going to talk about the Thunder and the Lakers series in just a moment here on 98.5 WNUW. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go on a short break. This is the Weekend Kickstart with Owen and Rel, and I'm playing some Hum. That's right. Grungy, shoegaze, hard, heavy guitar chords. It starts light, and then it gets real heavy, like a bowl of thick soup. And this is the kind of thing that people were eating up, going crazy for in the 90s. And they're experiencing a rebirth, so I've been playing them a whole lot at the station. Here's Hum on 98.5. Stars by Hum, 98.5, WNUW LP Asset, and this is Newman Radio, baby. If your Monday feels rough, you're not alone. Tune in to Rise and Shine Mondays from 8 to 9 a.m., where 6 sleep-deprived college students try to function on live radio. 6 of them in this room at once. That's right. You don't want to miss it. Coffee not included, but chaos is guaranteed. That's only on 98.5 WNUW. Since you liked Hum so much, now I'm going to play some Chevelle. Send the Pain Below by Chevelle here on 98.5 WNUW. Man, I've been getting into that hard rock, grunging it out, man. Throwing the head back, playing the air guitar. Doing a whole lot of that recently. I think it's because I got, like, anxiety about finals and stuff. Got to shake it out.
I feel that.
I like to listen to that stuff in the gym. Sometimes I'll listen to, like, hyper pop, the stuff that's like, pew, 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 pew. But then other times, I'll listen to Chevelle, Hum.
You might catch me listening to anything at the gym. Like, depends on the day.
Do you ever listen to music when you hoop?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Because when I used to play basketball, I would find that playing with other people, it's impossible to keep headphones. I bump into the way I play. I bump into somebody, boom, comes out. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm banging down low. But
on a speaker.
By myself, I like to, or on the speaker, yeah. But by myself, I used to like to have them in for sure. Yeah. I would always play like trash hip hop, like unreleased Cardi, like terrible beats. Like that's what I was listening to when I was hooping it. Like total just like the stuff that I've not listened to any other time. Like that's when I was listening to like super underground stuff, like Sofago and all that.
You're a vamp.
Yeah. Yeah, low key I am a vamp. That's so funny. Yeah, man. Yeah, did you ever get into all that? That whole craze, Cardi and the tight clothes
I'm a Cardi fan,
all that stuff,
bro, 100%.
The wearing black I'm not saying you had to do that, but like you remember that phase and all that.
I'm not gonna say I went through all that, but
I'm not about dress up and post it.
Yeah, right. I ain't gonna do all that. But I'm a Cardi over Uzi guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's not.
That's me.
That's not valid, but
look,
me. They're low key like for my one friend group probably. They're low-key the two GOATs, so that's good. You're speaking my language. I just have to say that objectively, your opinion is incorrect. Lil Uzi Vert is actually, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So we'll go back to the NBA playoffs. We left you talking about the Cavs and the Pistons, and when we come back, we want to talk about the Lakers and the Thunder. Some people like to call them the Thunders. Now, one issue that I have with the Thunder is they're too darn good. Now, I don't think that the Lakers pose a real threat to this team. Probably just going to roll over and die. I like LeBron, and I like how much LeBron has been playing, but, you know what I mean, like 38, 40 minutes. He's been giving his all out there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to be too little too late is what I meant to say. We're probably going to see like a 30-point triple-double or something, like back against the wall, legacy performance from Bron. Maybe he's not trying to get swept, but I'm going to be honest, it's going to be too little, too late. This Thunder team is super, super powerful. A lot of great play from Chet recently. He's stroking it, really, really well. Isaiah Hartenstein has been playing great down below. And then, of course, before the break, I said A.J. Mitchell was a great steal that they got. Last game played 30 minutes. Shea only played 28. Rel, what do you think of A.J. Mitchell, and what do you think of the Thunder's dominance, not just this season, but also so far in the postseason?
Exactly kind of what we expected. I expected the Thunder to be in the finals. I think they'll beat the Spurs this time around if the matchup comes. Spurs haven't been in the playoffs, hasn't played with this atmosphere. They got a small glimpse in that little, what they call that tournament, whatever that tournament's called in the beginning of the year when they beat the Thunder.
Is it the Cup?
NBA playing cup, whatever.
NBA
I
Cup?
don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's always tournaments now.
Some done thing for more money to try and get more viewers.
Exactly,
for
but
more money. Yeah,
I think OKC should go to the finals, bro. I mean, they're that good. Like, I'm looking at them. I think this is also like, you know how we always say, it's always like every few years where we'd be like, yo, this could go up there as like one of them teams. We had, 13 Heat, 17 Warriors. You had the 24 Celtics, and now we might have to talk about 25 or 26 OKC, whichever team you think is the best.
Right.
Right. But, if they win another one, or even because even the stats they doing, like they had the highest, win percentage or win differential for the longest time during the year. I don't know if they broke the record, but it had to be somewhat close because remember, they were blowing teams out for like the first 50 games of the year.
It was ugly.
Yeah, so all in all, this team plays hard on both ways. They have multiple creators. They have multiple bigs. They have everything. Good coaching is no weakness on this team. The only weakness you would say is necessarily catch and shoot threes, but I would say the defense makes up for any bit of that. And if they get hot, it's over. Like, it's also, if they hit threes, it's basically game over. Like,
it all started with the Los Angeles Clippers. We could trace it all back to that one Shea trade that absolutely transformed the landscape of the NBA.
Literally.
Moving forward as we know it. Shea and those picks have turned into the 64 win Oklahoma City Thunder.
Last 3 seasons, 60 wins, by the way.
3 in a row. And before the season started, highest total over-under on wins from any book for any basketball team in the preseason ever. It was 63.5, and people pushed the line down to 62.5, and they still beat that one.
Yep.
So, impressive.
With the injuries.
With the injuries, that's right. Impressive, to say the least. But I can't get enough of this A.J. Mitchell kid from Santa Barbara, man. And they found Jalen Williams at Santa Clara. I don't know where they're finding these kids. It's just such great general manager work. I can't give enough props to that front office.
Mm-hmm.
They've turned these picks into gold, and they've managed to find guys that are not just 3 and D, but they can honestly guard like 1 to 4, sometimes 1 to 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
This is ridiculous. It's almost like in the NFL how we're seeing guys get bigger, faster. Linemen are 6'6", 6'7". Okay, the Eagles just drafted somebody that's 6'9". You know what I mean? And he can still move. And each year they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yep.
In the NBA, we have Victor Wembanyama, but think about the bigs around the league. We got more teams playing small ball again. So I mean, it's very cool to see like teams like Boston try out the small ball thing, and it kind of works sometimes for them. But then other teams like the Cavs, who have not 1 but 2 big men, and one player like James Harden can throw a whole wrench in that whole plan and make it not work. Because this team, the Thunder, they have 2 bigs, and they still have the ability to like go small and play small ball against teams. It's ridiculous.
It kind of, I would say a lot of that depends on the personnel. Like, I believe in 2024, Boston had their 1 through 4 could guard 1 through 4 with Drew Holiday, White, Brown, and Tatum. Same with like 2017 Warriors. They had Iguodala, Draymond, Katie, Clay. They all could guard everyone. So when you have that ability, that definitely helps. And Chet,
Kawhi's Toronto team was nutty
because
too on defense.
Wemby, they literally were. Danny Green, Kawhi, Serge was still moving his feet.
Pascal Siakam with that
is
lateral quickness back then.
OG, oh my God, yeah.
Young
crazy.
OG, oh my God,
that was crazy. But they also, I was just about to say something.
Sorry,
no,
that's
you're
my
good.
bad.
No, you're good.
You were talking about these teams that go out and get
Chet. I was about to say
multiple guys
Chet.
that can
Yeah,
guard
like,
one through.
I
Yeah.
know Chet. Somehow he's become underrated in my book because like obviously everyone like thinks of Wemby when you think of Chet and is like you can't compare to him. So I think he's become underrated, but they can also go small and you can consider him a small ball center. You can consider him a power forward, a small forward. He can kind of do everything. So when they have lineups like with Chet, Shea, AJ, J Dub, another wing, like all those guys could basically switch everything. Lou Dort, like they could all switch everything. Case and Wallace, like plug and play with them. Like all they do the same thing. So OKC, they're gonna be good for a while. I expect another championship within the next 5. I expect that. You feel me? And
I think
thought,
most people do.
but I thought
I think most people do.
it's funny though, dude. After the Boston in 2024, did we expect them to win another one, or we kind of just know they'll be around? I kind of think, I hope it's not one of them situations to where like
I personally expected them to win another one.
and it's not over, but
Yeah.
there've been rumblings about the Brown and Tatum
Well,
run
the
finally.
injury. You know what I mean? When he blew out his Achilles, it's like, oh, okay, so they're not going to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's fair. But it's like
to answer your question, like right after, I was like, oh, they could.
Yeah. If they stay together, like they've been saying Tatum and Brown, they may split it up now. I still don't understand why you would do that when you are probably the best team in the East or at least the top 2 team in the East for the next few years. Same with OKC. Like no matter who they're about to get rid of, because they're gonna have to get rid of somebody, 1 or 2 players, with the the contracts coming up.
Yeah.
But they're always gonna be good. Like no matter who they get rid of, they have the depth, they have picks still. Like
Yeah.
in 2027, they'll
They
still have picks.
bro.
So
It's ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. Yeah, like they could.
Suffering
I
from
wouldn't
success.
bring in a star if I was them though. Like I would continue to do what they're doing.
Boston or the Thunder. You're talking about?
The Thunder.
The
Like
Thunder?
I don't think you mess up. You have your big 3, and you just change up the role player. Like you don't pay a Caruso if you think he's getting old. Don't pay what's the other dude's name? Like they'll let Kason Wallace, AJ, or Lou Dort is leaving. 100%.
I don't think they'll let AJ leave, but they would let Kason Wallace leave. They would let Isaiah Joe leave. They would let
Isaiah
Lou
Joe,
Dort leave. They
McCain.
they would let McCain leave. I mean, I just had that team up. There's a couple guys on that
Caruso.
squad. Jalen Williams can go. Like there's a bunch of guys on that
Yeah.
squad that they don't value nearly as much as.
If the big 3 there, then
J-Dub.
everything else will work out. I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh, who's the big 3?
J-Dub, Chet, Shea.
You don't think one of them is going to get their spot taken by AJ Mitchell?
I think he'll stay there, but I don't see why you get rid of any of, because J-Dub is someone who could guard 1 through 4. Chet's someone who, he's the perfect guy in this day and age. Like Chet is exactly what guys want to draft. 7-footers who can guard 1 through 5, who can shoot threes. That's exactly what you want. So I don't think you get rid of that.
So I agree, but even still, they got all these guys that they theoretically could move instead. But even still, in today's NBA, you don't think that they would look to move one of those 3 pieces
Between Chet and
Jalen Williams?
J-Dub,
Is J-Dub the most likely?
Yeah,
Because
I think Chet is more valuable.
Yeah,
Because he's 7 foot,
man.
can block. He's averaging 2 blocks a game. Then he'll go guard your point guard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just thinking about J-Dub, and on any other team would be so scary. That would be so
you
nutty.
would. But I can
But
easily
that guy could turn
see.
into like a.
I can easily
top
see
5 player in the
him
league.
being. I don't see him being a number 1 option though. I don't
Jalen
see
Williams?
that.
No, I 100% see him doing
Not
that.
on like, and he'll make that team like great. Like I think if he goes to another team, it'll be like Apollo, where the max will be first round kind of thing. I don't see him changing the organization around.
Isn't Paulo their number 1 option though?
Yeah.
But
I'm saying like he's not
I
a
see what
great
you're-
number 1. Like
right,
you
right,
can,
right.
it's number 1 options in the league,
Right,
but you're not
yeah.
gonna be.
he's not like an undisputed
Yeah.
for sure.
Like Michael
'Cause
Porter
Desmond Bane is
Jr.
doing a lot of the shooting
Michael
on
Porter
that
Jr.
team.
is averaging 26 this year, but we wouldn't call him a.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Yeah, I do really like J-Dub though. I really like.
no, I
his
like
game.
him too.
I've liked his game for a while. Yeah, I'd like to see him on another team. I'm tired of him getting all those wins on the Thunder. But yeah, that's another game they're playing tomorrow. Again, we got Timberwolves and Lakers. Nope, Timberwolves and Spurs tonight. It's at 9:30, and then before that, we got the Sixers and the Knicks at 7. That's going to be home right over at Xfinity Mobile Arena that way, I think. And exciting stuff, man. We want to talk about the W because the W is kicking off. So after this short break, actually, you know what? No, we're not going to go to the short break. We're going to keep you here, and we're going to churn out this last segment because that's what we're here to do. Now,
Sure.
officially, it kicks off tonight. They've released all of the preseason win totals. The odds on all of them are up and ready, and it looks like down at the very bottom are the new Portland Fire. They actually have the Connecticut Sun and the Seattle Storm below the new Toronto Tempo as well. But for those that don't know, there are 2 new teams, new expansion teams that came to the W. Pretty exciting stuff. Some contract restructuring has led to more M's being available. These ladies are going to be taking some big money off the table soon. That's good news.
Absolutely.
And tonight, 7:30, we got the Sun against the Liberty of New York, and then we got the Mystics against the Toronto Tempo up in Canada. And at 10 o'clock, we got the Valkyries taking on the Storm. Rel, I want to ask you about the expansion draft that the WNBA had because they had 2 new squads coming in. How'd they go about that? And did you recognize any of the players pulled in the draft?
Okay, so basically about a month ago, these 2 teams had their inaugural draft, and one thing I'll say is I think the WNBA should have a better job of like broadcasting it and making like a bigger like situation. I don't think they publicized it or made it big enough as they should.
They did not make it big enough. They did not.
But they definitely have recognizable players. And I think it's fair that they'll probably, both start towards the bottom. There are so many good players, so many great women players, right? That's why they had to make this expansion. Like before this, it was only 144 players allowed in the league, which was 12 teams, and it was 12 players max to a team. Think about how many. I'm sure you've heard the news about like first rounders getting cut, second rounders getting cut. Players who average 20 in college getting cut. Like, it's so hard to make the WNBA. So I think adding more space is definitely the right thing to do. But with that being said, obviously it's still going to be, it's good free agents, but it's not going to be the best players in the world. So, those free agents who've been drafted to those teams, they're going to help them out. But I think they're going to be looking forward to, next year's official WNBA draft, to try to get, their star player. Because neither team has a star player. Both teams have, like, solid role players. But as we've seen from last year, when the Valkyries were added, they had a pretty solid year for, to them to be fairly new. So if you can, if they're well coached and they could figure out a way, if either of those teams make the playoffs, it's not out the realm. It's not out the realm. Still only 14 teams. So you got to just be like a top 5 seed in your conference, I believe. So it's not out the realm, but yeah, I'm excited for this WNBA season, man. Like, NBA ends in about a month, and, during the summer, people typically like, oh, where the sports at if you're not a huge MLB fan. But if you like basketball, tap in with the WNBA. They actually play defense during the regular season.
And it looks like that's a nice little shot against the NBA defense. Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have our stars healthy. Is this one of the first times that coming into the NBA season, we're going to have multiple storylines all coming together? We're not just going to have just Caitlin Clark or just Angel Reese or just Paige Beckers. I know those are 3 of the biggest names. Obviously, there's tons of tremendous players in the league, but just off the top of my head, these 3 girls are on X, they're on ESPN, they're on CBS. Sometimes Caitlin Clark is on, what's the one commercial? It's not Allstate, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it
State
Allstate?
Farm. State Farm.
State Farm. I think
Farm.
it's State Farm, yeah. So, yeah, on TV.
Yeah.
So those are just the 3 that come to mind, but we got all 3 of our stars healthy, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo,
And
woo,
but
that's
it's
what I'm
so
talking
many.
about.
But it's only thing is my favorite player, who is Sabrina Ionescu. She's actually hurt. She got hurt in one of the preseason games. I'm a Liberty fan.
Highest win total coming into this season. The Liberty are placed at 32.5 over under.
makes total sense. They'll be in contention for another playoff run. They lost to the Aces in 24. They won the championship against the Lynx in 25,
Yeah.
and of course, Aces do it again last year.
Yeah,
So
Aja, man.
yeah, she's the best player right now.
You
But
can't touch her.
I think for a long time, no, Brianna was 1A, 1B with Brianna Stewart. Like she's also one of my favorite players. But I think Aja winning another MVP and another championship that put her over the top. Now she's the only 4-time MVP and 4-time champ. I believe Brianna Stewart has 3 championships and 3 MVPs, but Aja just topped it. Like it's so crazy. Like Brianna Stewart, 3-time MVP, 3-time champ, is not even necessarily close to being the best player. So that's how good Aja Wilson is. Like she's probably already a top 3 player of all time. And
no, probably. I think she definitely is.
yeah, bro.
Aja, yeah.
Maya Moore is my GOAT. So
Yeah, we were talking about Maya Moore a little while back. Yeah.
She's a 4-time champ as well and went to 6 finals.
She's a legend, man. She hung it up early to
help with, some police reform and, stuff like
yeah,
that.
I think originally it was getting involved with one of her friends or family members. I can't remember the original story, but it's something in the field of criminal justice and trying to work with police reform.
She got someone out and she ended up falling in love with them. They're married now, so congrats to her. But she's the best player I've ever seen in my eyes. Went to 6 championships in 8 years, won 4. MVP. So that's gonna be hard to top. But Aja's went to, I believe, 5 finals, won 4. So she's basically on Maya's tail. I think one more championship that'll probably do it for me. But until that point, Maya Moore is my GOAT. And but Aja Wilson to only be 28 and you're like everyone's GOAT is kind of insane. She's only 28.
Nuts.
Like she has another 10,
Still
10
playing,
to 15.
yeah. To be dating an NBA player and to be the best player in a relationship is actually like kind of crazy.
That's insane, bro.
If they played 1-on-1, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Nah, just kidding. I won't do it to him. We're wrapping it up here on 98.5 WNUW. I'm just going to move this song on down so that I can play it. But that's going to do it for the weekend kickstart. Thank you for sticking around on this lovely Friday. The weather is very, very nice out there today. The time is 4 o'clock on the dot. And Rel, is there anything that you want to get off your mind, leave these folks with one more time before we wrap it up and head into finals week?
Sixers win today.
Ooh.
Sixers win today, man. Let's get it.
Ooh,
we all want it. We don't want to see a 3-0 for the Knicks. I'm sure Knicks fans don't even want to see that. So hopefully the Sixers can win today. And, good luck to the Sixers.
Absolutely. Sixers kicking off Game 3 tonight against the Knicks at Xfinity Mobile. That's going to be at 7 o'clock. And, of course, can't forget the W. It's back, baby. 7:30 tonight, the WNBA will be back on your airways. And then later on in the night, 9:30, we got Minnesota and San Antonio. Oh, I'm almost more excited for that than I am for the Sixers. I'm just an Ant Edwards guy, man.
Series, yeah.
That's a great series. That's going to be something special. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We're leaving you with Down in the Hole by Alice in Chains.